Hi everyone, it's Library Linda, and I'd like to welcome you to this week's edition of Did You Know? Did you know February 1st of 1901 was the day Clark Gable was born? And he was from Cadiz, Ohio? The very first movie he was in was called It Happened One Night, and he won an Academy Award for it. But his most famous role was as Rhett Butler in Gone with the Wind. Did you know on February 1st of 1964, Hasbro introduced its first mass market doll for boys? The GI part of GI Joe stood for government issue, and when Hasbro designed these dolls, they actually made one for each branch of the military, and they sold for a mere $2.49. Did you know that Groundhog's Day originated in ancient Rome? The ancient Romans used to watch the habits of small animals like hedgehogs, and when they would emerge from their burrows in the spring, they knew that it was safe to go ahead and plant their crops. They took this practice with them when they moved up further into Northern Europe, and the Germans and the Celtic people in Ireland adapted this same practice of watching the animals. But the Celtic people took it one step further. They included their celebration of Candlemas with this same tradition. Candlemas was where they celebrated the rebirth of the earth because it had been dormant all winter long. When the Germans and the Irish immigrated to the United States, they brought this tradition of watching animals with them so that they would know when to plant their crops. But the closest thing to a hedgehog was a groundhog. So that is how we started watching Puxatawny Phil and Buckeye Chuck to determine whether we were going to have an early spring or 6 more weeks of winter. Did you know that the first Friday of every February is known as National Bubblegum Day? In 1928, 23-year-old Walter Dimer, who was an accountant for the Fleer Chewing Gum Company, started experimenting at home, looking for a way to make chewing gum less sticky. What he came up with was a way to make it more elasticized. Little did he know, he created bubblegum. And it was first named Double Bubble Bubblegum. Did you know February 3rd of 1959 was a very sad day for the music industry? Some refer to it as the day the music died. Buddy Holly, along with 2 of his friends, Richie Valens and the Big Bopper, all 3 were huge in the music industry back then, were in a plane that unfortunately crashed in a cornfield in Iowa. None of them survived. Years later, another musician named Don McLean wrote a song that immortalized them. That song was called American Pie. Did you know on February 6th of 1952, 27-year-old Princess Elizabeth Alexandra Mary became Queen Elizabeth II after the untimely death of her father, King George VI. Queen Elizabeth has been queen longer than any other living reigning monarch. She is queen of the United Kingdom, Great Britain, and Northern Ireland. Did you know that February is National Library Lovers Month? Well, to all of you library lovers out there, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Did You Know? Hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.